A huge weather pattern change is coming to the United States over the next few days, and this will bring some of the warmest weather that we've seen all year long, in addition to the return of severe weather, where we have one of the largest risks of severe weather that we've seen so far this year. So in today's forecast, we are going to break down exactly what you need to know about the weather that'll be impacting the United States over the next 7 to 10 days, and we'll begin with what's happening across the country today, and we actually have had some severe weather over the last 24 hours across parts of the southeast, and we still have actively some showers and thunderstorms that are impacting areas from East Texas back into Georgia. Still a few complexes as well of thunderstorm activity that will bring some isolated damaging winds before eventually we go into the afternoon hours. But this is a pretty big storm system. The low pressure system is all the way back up into Michigan. Lots of showers and thunderstorms stretching from the northeast all the way back into the deep south. And then back over in the Pacific Northwest and the Central Plains, we do have a weakening storm system that'll bring a little bit more shower and snow activity before it dies out as we go into tomorrow. Yesterday, we end up having a severe weather outbreak where there was a bunch of large hail and damaging winds from the southern plains back into the Tennessee Valley. We actually ended up having a singular tornado yesterday back over in western Mississippi, which hit the west side of Rolling Fork, Mississippi, just about 2 years after the EF4 anniversary for that area. This was a much weaker tornado, though, definitely not as intense, but there was some damage to a few homes in the area. And unfortunately, with the weather pattern that we will be going into, there will be much more severe weather from where this came from as we go into this upcoming weekend, which we're going to talk more about here in just a moment. So the weather is going to be changing a ton over the next week, and one of the biggest reasons why is because of our jet stream. This is what it looks like right now. We have a huge high pressure system back along the west coast of the United States, which is actually leading to a lot of our moisture going over that low pressure system over into the Rockies and also in the Pacific Northwest. On the other hand, we have a big storm system over the Great Lakes region that'll bring some more shower and thunderstorm activity today to the East Coast. What's interesting, though, is as we go through the middle and end of this week, we are going to continue to have this high pressure system sitting along the West Coast. And by the way, this is called an omega block weather pattern, where we have a high pressure system between two large scale low pressure systems. So that's what we're seeing over the next several days. And this high pressure system will act like a wall. It's going to prevent any big storms from impacting the United States, at least for the next 4 to 5 days. But unfortunately, this will come to an end by the end of the work week. Once that high pressure system fizzles out as it moves towards the Great Plains, we will have a large scale storm system that'll move into the Great Plains. And it might not look impressive at first glance on the jet stream, but believe it or not, this will bring a large risk for severe weather, which we'll talk more about here in just a second. By the time we go into next week, into the first week of April, we are anticipating a very active weather pattern to continue, more than likely with many different storm systems that will be impacting the United States. So get ready. Severe weather season's really about to kick into gear here as we go into April. I know we've already had a few big severe weather events, but they've really only been every week or so. They're probably going to start to be more frequent, more like every other day, essentially, that we're going to be seeing some significant severe weather. In a pretty big turn of events, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a large slight risk for severe weather for Saturday across the Central Plains, where damaging winds, hail, and a few tornadoes are all in play, anywhere from western Illinois back into Oklahoma and as well as Arkansas. There's a very high chance that we will be live on both Saturday and Sunday covering severe weather. Even though this is still about 5 to 6 days out, the confidence is pretty high that we are going to be talking about the potential for a severe weather outbreak. Sunday is one of the largest slight risks I think I've ever seen, especially on the day 7 outlook. This is for Sunday, March 30th. We have a massive slight risk of severe weather from southern Michigan to the Gulf Coast. And again, this might not look big to you, but this is a huge area. I mean, I've never seen a large risk like this issued on the day 7 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes will all be in play, but I do think we're going to start to see some areas narrowed down in terms of where the greatest risk for severe weather will be on Sunday. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Once we get a more narrowed down area, we will be the first to let you know. In addition to that, we're going to talk more about what is going to be happening here in just a moment. So over the next few days, we'll be dealing with an exiting storm system along the East Coast that has brought plenty of snow to the Midwest and severe weather to the deep south. By tomorrow, things are beautiful. We are talking about a fantastic day for most of the country. Really not much happening weather-wise other than just a few showers over in the mid-Atlantic. By Wednesday, same story. Really not much happening. Pacific Northwest will get hammered by another atmospheric river, but elsewhere things are really nice. By Thursday, things start to change a little bit. There will be some moisture back over in South Texas, which will start to build. This will become more important by the weekend, as we'll be having a moisture stream from the Gulf that'll lead to severe weather. That'll Otherwise, though, not really much happening other than the rain in the Pacific Northwest. By Friday, things start to uptick a little bit more. More rain in the southern plains, a little Alberta clipper back over in the upper Midwest. But really, the big day will be Saturday. We'll have an intensifying low pressure system moving over the Rockies, and this will lead to a more organized risk for severe weather on Saturday across parts of the central and southern plains. This looks to be a slightly more conditional severe weather risk as of right now. Low pressure system will be right over the central and southern plains. European models currently indicating a lot of moisture even into the Dixie Alley, where there could be some showers and thunderstorms. Most of those will be non-severe. A stretch of rain also from the northeast all the way back through Iowa, but this is really the area that we'd be watching for a risk of severe storms. And for the time being, this does appear to be more isolated to scattered rather than a widespread severe weather event. That could always change as we get closer. It's very early on still. We'll have a lot of changes, I think, between now and then. By Sunday, that's when we'll likely be talking about a more robust threat of severe weather across the Ohio Valley and Dixie Alley. This is what it looks like right around lunchtime. Lots of showers and thunderstorms along the Mississippi River Valley, and also some snow back over into the Midwest. A low pressure system around 1,000 millibars. This is by no means the most intense low pressure system that we've seen this year. We've had some as low as 975 to 985 millibars, which brought really high winds. We'll still have high winds with this low pressure system, but not nearly as bad as the last few. Eventually, by dinner time on Sunday, those storms will be moving east. We'll have plenty of severe weather happening, even from Indiana back towards the Gulf Coast. I do think the more significant threat for severe weather will be in the Dixie Alley. And then on Monday, the storm system moves to the east coast, where snow and showers and thunderstorms will be possible up and down the coastline. Severe weather is not really expected, though, by Monday. And then eventually, by the middle and end of next week, things become a little bit more active. We'll probably be dealing with more and more storm systems that become more frequent, which will lead to even more severe weather as we go into April. But before that happens, we need to deal with the big severe weather events that are happening right before March ends. And our temperature roller coaster will continue throughout the rest of this week. As we have an omega block weather pattern, the warm air is going to build along the west coast and the southern plains with above average temperatures in the forecast for the rest of this work week. And a little bit of cold air will continue back over in the northeast and the Ohio Valley. By the middle and end of this week, that cold air moves into the east coast. Warm air really building across the Great Plains and the Rockies. And then by the weekend, that warm air will be moving towards the east coast. Above average temperatures are likely for Sunday and Monday back over in the southeast and all the way back over into New England. And then by the middle and end of next week, things become a lot more uncertain, but we'll likely be dealing with above average temperatures for most of the country. But no Arctic blast currently in the near future. We don't really have any big shots of cold air for most of the country. Even behind that powerful storm system this upcoming weekend, there probably will not be much cold air behind that. It'll get a little bit colder, but definitely nothing Arctic about it. And in all honesty, there will not be many more Arctic blasts as we continue to go throughout spring. Now, in terms of our temperature trends, according to the Climate Prediction Center, they are also agreeing that between Saturday of this upcoming weekend through Wednesday, which is April 2nd, we are anticipating above average temperatures in the Rockies all the way back into the southern plains and also into the southeast, with a small area in the northern plains and into the northeast with below average temperatures more likely than not. And then in terms of rainfall, above average precipitation is likely anywhere in the green, so that's literally anywhere in the Great Plains, Ohio Valley, northeast, and Florida. And then back over along the west coast, we have a much higher chance of above average rainfall, which is all going to be coming from the big atmospheric river events that we've been dealing with for the last few days, and those will continue even into April. And in case you want some springtime snow, well, you might see some depending on where you are. Currently, these are the probabilities of seeing greater than 1 inch of snowfall between now and April 5th. The probabilities are the highest if you're in the northeast or in the Rockies or along the west coast in the Sierra Nevada. Otherwise, the northern plains and even to Nebraska and even into the Midwest, the probabilities are not looking great, about 50 to 40% for most areas in the northern plains. So generally speaking, snow is not looking very likely for the next few weeks. There will be a little bit of snow, I think, this weekend with that big storm system that'll be bringing some more significant severe weather, but otherwise things are going to be more quiet when it comes to our wintry weather as we continue to go throughout the rest of spring. And as always, thank you all so much for watching today's forecast. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It will be a busy weekend of severe weather, so you're going to want to make sure you stay tuned. We'll have a lot of updates. We'll probably have daily videos as well here on the channel. In addition to that, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. There's also links in the description to follow those platforms. We post a lot of rapid fire updates on there when we're not making videos or even when we're not live, so definitely recommend you go check that out. And also you can join our Discord server, which is also linked in the description below. And don't forget, we only have a week left until our 1 million subscriber merch is gone forever, so if you want to get any, we have our signed hats, t-shirts, t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and much more, all available at shopmaxvelocity.net or at the top link in the description below.